Hey, I'm Austin for the Squared Circle Shoot, and for lack of a better word, Raw was boring. It started off with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and there was a higher El Generico sign in the crowd, which is pretty funny. But Sami calls the match against Reigns' Revenge that they're gonna have at Night of Champions. Sami delivers a pretty good promo, and then the Judgment Day come out. Kevin Owens skips all the pleasantries and just asks for a fight, but Sami wants to hear them out because that's his nature, I guess. He calls them gentlemen and Dom. The Judgment Day say they want to challenge for the tag titles after Roman's loss, and Rhea Ripley gets a big pop, and Dominic isn't let speak. Then it goes into a match with Shinsuke Nakamura and Miz, where the crowd seems a little bit better than the last couple shows. It was a pretty good match. Miz is at the point where, like, I feel like he's going to get another push somewhere in, like, the mid-card, maybe getting one of the titles. And Shinsuke always looks good. And it's nothing really to talk about. It's exactly what you would expect between a match of these two guys. And then there's a Seth Rollins promo where he's doing a interview with Corey Graves, and it's split up through the night. And then there's they're putting a teaser for next week for what his thoughts on Roman are. And throughout the promo, we do see a bit of Moxley because of the Shield integration. Then Imperium comes out. Gunther walks up on the announcement desk. The crowd has a mixed reaction. He says that there's no challenger that he has any respect for on the roster. That leads into the Battle Royal for the Intercontinental Championship, where it's just like a mid-card mashup. Riddle comes out and kicks his Crocs off at Gunther. JD McDonough beats Ziggler outside the ring after he gets tossed out by Ziggler and then tossed out himself. There's an Otis pop when he tosses out a couple people. You love to see that. Then Bronson Reed tosses out Otis and one of the Viking Raiders, and commentary's like, that's like 800 pounds, you know, it's pretty cool. Riddle looks insane halfway through the match. He's actually, like, throwing people around. He's bouncing off of people like he's a pinball, and he really shows off his talent there. That's probably one of the highlights of the night, honestly. Then Ricochet tees off on Bronson Reed as he's outside the ring. Reed picks him up. Mustafa Ali capitalizes for a win, and honestly, if they want me to care about Mustafa Ali, they're gonna have to drop all of his cringe promos and all of his bits that he's doing. And if he wins against Gunther, bro, it's all over, bro. Then Becky Lynch, she serves a decent promo to announce her versus Trish at Night of Champions. Nothing really much to say there. Then there's a backstage segment with Rhea Ripley where she says Natalya is going to need to stay in her lane. But of course, Natalya interrupts. And Rhea Ripley says she's not going to boost Natalya's career, but she's going to end it. Then there's a backstage segment with Mustafa Ali, which of course is cringe. And then it goes into Xavier Woods versus Dominic Mysterio. And to be 100% fair, Dominic looks a lot better than he did in previous months. We know that WWE wants to build him up as a top heel. And I don't know if he's there yet, but he's definitely showing more potential in the ring. And could potentially, maybe if he puts on a little bit of weight or something, I don't know, be a big dog. I don't know. Now, Woods also looks good, and that's to be expected. And as commentary calls it, Dom is like cockroach and Twinkies. He'll be there at the end of the world, but, you know, Rhea has to interfere. She elbows Woods in the back, and Dominic wins, of course. Then there's a JD McDonough promo, which just, you know, sows into the people that don't know him that he is a heel. And in an interview afterwards, he says that he's here to make a statement, and that's why he beat Dolph Ziggler up. Then it goes into a match between Indus Sher versus some anorexic children. You take giants like these guys, and you want to prove something with them. I wouldn't put them in a match against some nano weights. Like, they didn't even get an introduction. You just take these big guys who I haven't seen any other matches, but commentary said that they have proven themselves in NXT. You would think that they would give them a match against these guys and just have it be a squash match, but it ends up lasting longer than Baron Corbin. So, I mean, hard to say. It was annoying to see at the very least. Then there's a backstage segment with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn and Imperium, where Kevin Owens don't have time for them, and he just challenges them to a match next week, and they have to find out who their tag team partner is going to be, which makes me think it's not going to be Riddle. Then there's a Cody Rhodes segment where his promos have to be like a little bit wacky every time. He says Brock is better than 99.9% of wrestlers, but he's not better than Cody Rhodes. He also mentions that Brock Lesnar is no longer just the big thing. He's just somebody who's in his way. Now, someone in the crowd had a "Do It for Dusty" sign. That was pretty cool. I like that. And then there's a short backstage segment with Zoe Stark where she just sets up a match with Candice LeRae, going into a match with Raquel Rodriguez versus Chelsea Green, where Green is looking a little bit more than a punching bag for most of the match. She's actually doing a little bit of something. She's showing that she can roll with Raquel Rodriguez and not just be put into a squash match, but a quick turnaround and a slam secures Raquel's victory. Walking out, Raquel gets jumped by Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, and I don't think really anyone cared. Then backstage, Heyman shakes hands with Imperium, and it continues the Seth Rollins promo afterwards, where Seth says that the top competitors, the top champions, Roman Reigns, doesn't want to take risks. And when he gets asked about Roman Reigns, they say, "We'll see you next week." Ha! And it's just a cliffhanger that isn't really necessary, I would say. And then that goes into the Judgment Day versus Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Now, Balor, he lost the tournament, but he's just looks good in the ring. Like, he can't do bad. He's continuously putting out good matches, and he can own up. After Sammy goes for the first pin, he gets a 1 count, and for some reason Kevin decides it's a great idea to shout out that was 3. Then after the Judgment Day get thrown out of the ring, Balor calls for Rhea Ripley and Dominic to come out, and Kevin, after getting tagged in, he is always at 100%. There's an interference by Dom, which slows him down a little bit, but Dom and Rhea get sent out. Heyman walks out, and Kevin's just doing a lot of work, man. In almost a strike of like deja vu, you get Sammy pulling himself up on the ropes like he's a rag doll, and then tags in, and he explodes in the ring as if he was never knocked out to begin with. It's kind of just like this thing that he got going on. Happens every time. It's to be expected. And then Imperium are at ringside for a distraction, and of course Kevin has to attack Imperium. Imperium interferes one more time, allows Finn to take advantage, hits a coup de grace, and then he wins. And we're just back to back to back to back interferences, and it's just getting so boring. It's so boring at this point. It's either roll up, disqualification, or interference ending again, and it is something else, bro. I'm getting bored of it, man. And AEW AEW is looking mighty fine. Woo! Hey, but I'll tell you what. Let me know what you thought about tonight or last night in the comments. And yeah, like, comment, subscribe, share the video, whatever you gotta do. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.